Breaking news. A powerful 7.4 magnitude earthquake has struck the southern Philippines, shaking the very foundations of Mindanao. The tremors hit late at night, catching many residents off guard and sending thousands fleeing into the streets in panic and confusion. Families rushed out of their homes, some barefoot, clutching children and whatever belongings they could grab in those frantic moments. Buildings shook violently in major cities like Davao and Surigao del Sur. Windows shattered, walls cracked, and the ground itself seemed to ripple beneath people's feet. Power lines snapped, plunging entire neighborhoods into darkness, while the cityscape was eerily lit only by the occasional flash of emergency lights and the distant glow of fires sparked by the quake. Within minutes, PHIVOLCS issued an urgent tsunami warning, broadcasting alerts across television, radio, and social media. Sirens wailed along the coast as authorities urged residents to evacuate immediately and seek higher ground, fearing massive waves could follow the quake. As panic spread, cell networks became jammed. Families desperately tried to reach loved ones, but calls wouldn't go through. In evacuation centers and on crowded sidewalks, people clung to their phones, anxiously waiting for any word from missing relatives. Emergency services are mobilizing across the region, but their efforts are hampered by damaged roads, fallen debris, and widespread power outages. Ambulances and rescue teams navigate through the chaos, working tirelessly through the night to reach those in need. The government has placed disaster response agencies on the highest alert, coordinating a massive humanitarian effort. Military and rescue personnel are being deployed to the hardest-hit areas, preparing for what could be days or even weeks of emergency operations. Offers of international assistance are already pouring in from neighboring countries and global organizations. Humanitarian supplies and relief teams are being mobilized. But for now, the immediate focus remains on saving lives, treating the injured, and providing shelter to those left homeless. For millions in Mindanao, the night is long and filled with fear. Aftershocks continue to rattle nerves, and the threat of a tsunami keeps coastal communities on edge. Families huddle together outdoors, uncertain of what the next hours will bring. The Philippines, no stranger to natural disasters, faces yet another test of resilience and unity. Communities that have rebuilt before now brace themselves to do it again, drawing strength from each other in the face of adversity. The world watches with bated breath, hoping for the best as the full extent of the devastation slowly comes to light. International media are on the ground, reporting live as the story unfolds. This is a moment of profound uncertainty for the people of Mindanao, a night marked by fear, hope, and the unbreakable spirit of a nation determined to endure whatever comes next. The US Geological Survey confirmed the quake's magnitude at 7.4, striking at a shallow depth of 25 kilometers, amplifying the shaking. The epicenter was off Surigao del Sur, in the seismically active Philippine Trench. The energy released was immense, with shaking lasting nearly a minute, long enough to cause widespread structural damage. Aftershocks followed, compounding the trauma and hampering rescue efforts. PHIVOLCS rapid analysis enabled timely tsunami warnings and targeted emergency response. Seismologists are now studying the fault mechanics to guide future rebuilding and resilience. The numbers, 7.4 magnitude, 25 kilometers deep, tell a story of immense power unleashed on Mindanao. The science behind the quake is crucial for understanding the path to recovery. Minutes after the quake, tsunami warnings blared across Surigao del Sur and Davao Oriental. Sirens, social media, and radio urged coastal residents to evacuate immediately. In the darkness, families fled, on foot, by car, carrying children and the elderly, toward higher ground. The memory of past tsunamis fueled the urgency. No one took chances. The first waves arrived quickly, flooding beaches and damaging coastal homes and boats. Swift evacuations saved lives, as the warning systems proved their worth under pressure. Hours later, PHIVOLCS lifted the tsunami warning, but residents were told to remain cautious. The successful evacuation highlighted the importance of preparedness and community action. A potential disaster was averted by quick thinking and hard-earned lessons. Harrowing stories are emerging from Mindanao, painting a vivid picture of the chaos and fear that gripped the region in the wake of the earthquake. Maria Santos of Hinatuan recalls, "I grabbed my children and ran as the house shook violently. The walls seemed to close in, and all I could think about was getting my family to safety. We huddled outside, praying it would stop." For hours, families like Maria's waited in the darkness, listening to the earth rumble and fearing what might come next. In Davao City, Mark Reyes describes evacuating a high-rise. The building swayed, people panicked, and aftershocks hit as we descended the stairs. The terror was palpable, with every aftershock sending new waves of fear through the crowd. First responders faced blocked roads and darkness, racing to reach the injured and assess damage. Their efforts were hampered by fallen power lines and debris, making every rescue a challenge. Captain Leo Fernandez shares, "Debris was everywhere. We had to clear paths just to get ambulances through. We prioritized hospitals and critical facilities, but every minute felt like a race against time. The pressure was immense, as lives hung in the balance and resources were stretched thin. The psychological toll is immense. Families sleep outdoors, children wake in fear at every tremor. Many have not returned to their homes, haunted by the memory of shaking walls and falling objects. We survived the big one, but now we live with constant anxiety," one mother shares. "The uncertainty of when the next quake might strike weighs heavily on everyone. The fear of aftershocks lingers, making recovery even harder. Each tremor, no matter how small, sends hearts racing and disrupts any sense of normalcy." These personal accounts reveal the true cost of disaster, far beyond broken buildings. The emotional scars run deep, affecting both young and old. The community's resilience is tested not just physically, but emotionally. Neighbors come together, offering comfort and support, trying to rebuild not just homes, but hope. The scars left by the quake will take time to heal. For many, the journey to recovery is just beginning, and the memories of that terrifying night will linger for years. Mindanao's people face the future with courage, but also with deep uncertainty. Yet, in the face of adversity, their determination to rebuild and support one another shines through, offering a glimmer of hope amid the devastation. Seismologists delve into the quake's origin, pinpointing the Philippine Trench, a notorious mega-thrust zone. Here, tectonic plates collide, and immense stress accumulates over time until it's violently released in the form of an earthquake. This process is a natural yet powerful reminder of the Earth's dynamic nature. Dr. Renato Salidum of PHIVOLCS elaborates, "The shallow depth of the quake meant that intense shaking was felt across the entire region of Mindanao, affecting millions. Liquefaction poses a significant threat, especially in coastal areas with sandy soil. This phenomenon can undermine the stability of buildings and infrastructure, leading to severe damage." Dr. Marissa Lee states, "We're conducting thorough assessments for ground instability, which could lead to further damage if not addressed promptly." The quake's thrust movement displaced the sea floor, creating a potential tsunami threat. This highlights the interconnectedness of seismic events and their far-reaching impacts. Quick warnings and swift public response were crucial in saving lives. However, the danger is not over, as aftershocks remain a persistent threat. Scientists caution that aftershocks could continue for weeks, urging vigilance. Thorough safety checks are essential before reoccupying any buildings to ensure they are safe. This event underscores the urgent need for resilient infrastructure and ongoing preparedness. Building structures that can withstand such forces is vital for future safety. The science is clear: respect the Earth's power and build back stronger. Rebuilding efforts must focus on creating structures that can endure future seismic events. The lessons learned from this event will shape future safety measures. Community education and preparedness are key to minimizing risks and ensuring a safer tomorrow. The earthquake struck as the Philippines was still reeling from recent typhoons, stretching disaster resources thin. Relief supplies and personnel are being diverted from typhoon recovery to Mindanao, creating logistical and emotional strain. The economic impact is severe. Damaged infrastructure, disrupted livelihoods, and mounting costs threaten long-term stability. Communities face disaster fatigue, with families losing homes and livelihoods multiple times. The government must balance urgent needs across regions, testing its capacity and leadership. Psychosocial support is as vital as physical aid to maintain public morale. The nation's resilience is being pushed to its limits. Daylight reveals the earthquake's devastation: collapsed homes, cracked schools, and damaged hospitals in Surigao del Sur. Key bridges are impassable, roads are scarred by fissures, and power outages persist. Communication remains spotty, isolating communities and complicating rescue efforts. Hospitals are overwhelmed with the injured, while rescue teams search for survivors in the rubble. Fishing boats and agricultural lands are lost, halting local economies. Food and water shortages loom if access isn't restored quickly. The damage is more than physical, it's a profound disruption to daily life. Recovery will be a long, complex process. A massive relief operation is underway. Military planes and ships deliver food, water, and medical supplies to Mindanao. Soldiers and police clear debris, assist in rescues, and secure evacuation centers. The spirit of bayanihan, community unity, shines as volunteers cook, distribute aid, and comfort survivors. International aid is arriving, with countries and NGOs providing resources and expertise. The focus is on immediate needs: shelter, food, water, and medical care. Authorities are also planning for long-term recovery, transitional housing, psychosocial support, and rebuilding infrastructure. The goal, not just to restore, but to build back better and more resilient communities. Hope is mobilizing alongside aid. Amid tragedy, the Filipino spirit endures. Neighbors help neighbors. Strangers share what little they have. Community leaders organize for safety and recovery, embodying unity in crisis. The road to rebuilding is long, requiring commitment from government, partners, and every citizen. Healing psychological wounds is as vital as reconstructing homes and schools. The disaster is a stark reminder of the Philippines' vulnerability, underscoring the need for better preparedness and resilient infrastructure. Lessons learned must drive real change to protect future generations. The focus remains on Mindanao's people. Their strength and hope are the foundation for recovery. The shaking broke homes, but not their spirit. The world watches in admiration as Mindanao rises to rebuild. The unbreakable spirit of Mindanao will prevail.